What's up, people? It's been about a week or a little over a week since I've done a review or a video or anything, so I guess I figure it's about that time to get the ball rolling again. So today I want to discuss the latest album from Talib Kweli entitled Gravitas. I don't think I really need to do too much of an intro. You probably know who Talib Kweli is by now. Pretty much the poster child for quote-unquote conscious rap. He's been around for a few decades. He's, you know who he is. If you don't know, then oh well. This is his second release this year. Prior to this, he released Prisoners of Conscience, and this is a follow-up to that. This album, I believe, is being exclusively, I think, distributed through his own website that he set up. I guess he's taking the indie route now, so you pretty much purchase it directly from him. The stream, which I'll probably put a link in the description, stream of the album, I listen to it on djbooth.net, so if you want to check it out, I'll put the link down there, and you can go listen to it. But yeah, let's get right into this. This album's pretty short, only 11 tracks, but within that 11 tracks, you pretty much really real quick get the gist of what he's going for and what he's trying to do. If you've ever listened to him before, you know that he has no shortness of what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say conscious tracks, but just, tracks with content, whether it be talking about social issues or what he thinks wrong with the music industry, all that kind of stuff. He's done it on pretty much all of his work, and still, doing it on this one. But I like about this album is it all doesn't come across so preachy all the time. A lot of it is the topics are kind of disguised and woven into his storytelling, which for me makes it a better listen. I haven't always found him to be the most enjoyable person to listen to. Like, he's always, for me, been a good lyricist, but on like an entertainment level of me wanting to go back and listen to his work, he doesn't always have that kind of replay value for me. But on this album, I think he had a really good blend of mixing in, the messages into his songs while still keeping the music, entertaining. A lot of that, I would say, is due to the production. The producers he had on here, Crisis, Lord Quest, Thaddeus Dixon, Oh No, Rich Kid, 6 Cents, and One Beat by Jay Dilla. They all did good jobs of giving him some pretty good beats to go over, and they all didn't, sound the same. It wasn't all boom bap. It was, he had a good mixture of some high energy tracks. He had a few smooth cuts on here. So kudos to the producers for giving him good stuff to rock over. He also had some pretty good features on here. The first track, Demonology, which comes after the intro, features Big Crit and Gary Clark Jr. on the guitar. Crit had a good verse on that. That was one of my standout tracks, which is, I liked how he started off with a really good track. I pretty much say it on every review to start strong and close strong, and he definitely started strong with that track. He had a feature with Underachievers. Rod Digger made an appearance on here, as well as Black Thought. Even Mike Posner had a feature on here too on the last track. Content-wise on this album, like I've said, if you listened to him before, you know what the subjects and things he likes to tackle. On this album specifically, he gets into the music industry, kind of the ills of it and the ill effects it can have on people. He has one track on here, I'll get into it later in more detail, but talks about kind of women, how they're objectified in hip-hop and that whole thing. He has another track on here called The Wormhole, which is pretty much him going in about the Illuminati and I'll leave that track alone. I don't get too much into that because I hate debating that topic with people. It's a good track though. But yeah, you go listen to that track. I'm not even gonna talk about that one. But I guess I'll get into my standout tracks. Like I said, this album was pretty short, only 11 tracks. Demonology, which was the very first cut on here, was a really good track. I like the energy on that track. I like the collab with Big Crit. He's one of my favorite artists, so dope verse from him. And Gary Clark Jr. on the guitar. And quick plug-in for him. If you've never listened to Gary Clark Jr., go check out the Black and Blue album, which was really good. State of Grace was another good track on here featuring Abby Dobson. Pretty much this was the track that I mentioned of him. It was kind of just him telling a story, and within the story you pick up the messages of how women are portrayed in hip-hop and kind of how the messages can be demeaning and all. But he does it it's not so much in a preachy way. It's just disguised in a story. I thought he did a really good job of putting the message in the story instead of just kind of throwing it, point blank in your face, which sometimes I guess can be a knock on him as an artist. A lot of times you want to hear content, but you don't want it to be just, I don't want it to feel like somebody's just kind of just yapping in your face about it. So I thought on this album he definitely did a good job of not making it so preachy all the time. Violations was another good cut on here. I'd probably say this is probably my favorite track on here. Features Raekwon, and it's pretty much him and Raekwon just trading, lyrical blows, so to speak. Beat produced by Thaddeus Dixon. Shout out to him because this is probably one of my favorite beats too on the whole album. Definitely gave him a good one. Gave him and Raekwon a good joint to rock over. Rare Portraits was another good track, produced by Oh No. One of the more smooth tracks. Content wise, it's just Talib talking about pretty much how he came up in the industry, how he got a start from back in the day to getting to where he is now. New Leaders featuring Underachievers was a good track. Art Imitates Life was another one of my favorite tracks, pretty much because it featured him and Black Thought, on the same track. Also featured Rod Digger and I'll Be Back. So it was just good to hear that kind of collaboration. And I like the closing track on here. The last two tracks on here, I'm not gonna say they don't fit with the album, but they're definitely like a more subdued, more calm, and more chill than the whole rest of the album. Specifically the closing track, Colors of You, featuring Mike Posner, which is pretty much I guess you could say like a hip hop love track, beat by Jay Dilla. And Mike Posner does his thing with the guest vocals, but I like how he ended it on a real. It almost like the album started and ended on like polar opposites, because Demonology is a pretty high energy track, and this track, the closing one, is real, just kind of chill and kind of just laid back. Definitely more of a boom bap feel. But overall, this was a pretty good listen. I think it helped that it was short, only 11 tracks. Like I said, sometimes I don't find Talib to be the most entertaining person to listen to, but he did a good job of balancing having, entertaining music mixed in with, social commentary, and not just yapping and, preaching directly in your face. And compared to Prisoners of Conscience, which I actually haven't listened to, but one of the knocks that I heard on that album was that it was more so about the beats than the lyrics, and I guess people were disappointed that he wasn't as lyrical as, we know he can be. And I'd say on this album, that's definitely not the case. The beats are on point, lyrics are definitely there. He has some good flows on here, so you're not getting any shortage of lyrical ability and content. You're getting it all nice, meshed in these all 11 tracks. So in conclusion, I'd say pretty much if you're a Talib fan, this is probably a no-brainer. You're probably gonna add this to your collection. And if you're not, I'd say, give it a listen. You might find a few cuts off here you can get with. And I guess props to him for another pretty solid album. He's been busy this year. I'm pretty sure he'll probably put out another project next year. And look forward to whatever he puts out next. So if you've heard it, let me know. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Let me know what you think. I'll put the link in the description for the website that you can directly purchase his album from, as well as the stream to listen to it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Gravitas was a pretty good listen. And until next time, catch y'all later.